Hello everybody, it's vanburman here, and just have some news to bring to you today. One of my friends from school has, I think I might have even mentioned this actually before on my YouTube channel previously, but I can't really remember. Just about an interview that I did regarding the game which I am developing at the minute, but obviously that's still a long way off, but that's not the point. He wanted to do an interview with me because of the for his obviously the articles that he writes for this. I don't know whether it was for this website or for a different website, but yeah. So anyway, I agreed, and I thought it would be quite an interesting idea, and I don't know, just give me a chance to get some feedback as well on for myself on how the game might be perceived, shall we say. So I am going to read this out to you, and obviously going to plug his the website which he's writing for as well, just because. Okay, there are actually thumbnails for these. That's great. Yeah, at least they'll work. Obviously, everything is subject to change on here, so you have to appreciate that. The one thing I will say is, obviously, because he wants me to give him feedback. So, seeing as I hate writing out messages, and you guys know this, I barely put anything in descriptions. It's always the same thing. Oh, silly phone. I'm not going to message him with the answer. He can watch this video. I will put in the link to this website, obviously. For anyone who is interested in the end of an age, or, you don't really need to. I don't think I really need to put those links in. I mean, you can just go through this article to my Greenlight page and my old Kickstarter page. Or, I don't know, it's around everywhere and anywhere. You'll be able to find it, it's easy. So, I'm going to read out the article for you. But it should be worth mentioning that there are lots of other stuff on here as well. From what I gather, it's a fairly new website. Okay, we'll just quickly go to home. And, they got some reviews on classic games and stuff, and I quite like the scoring system. And fortunately, he is actually, my friend is actually a very good writer as well, so, that helps. It's a very interesting read. So I've just read through it myself. There are some, obviously, mistakes and stuff, but, you get that and you iron it out, so it's perfectly fine. The first thing I would like to say is that despite the fact he's called, and it's been used by so many people forever, people always say Will Berman, and I just don't like that. I prefer William. They just do now. I don't know, Will Berman just sounds, too short, I think, actually, ironically. Obviously, you guys know me as vanburman, but it doesn't really matter. Okay, so I will start and read it out for you now without laughing at this first line. Final Fantasy 13 played like a dead horse. Okay, I had to laugh, but I nearly cried when I first read that, because I forgot that I said that, and I don't really need to explain the reasoning behind that. Is this article is very well written, I think. So this is an outburst from the man sitting opposite me, politely and calmly sipping a Coke in a bustling Wetherspoons. Only the classiest places for me, sets the tone for the interview quite nicely. It was actually alright. It was quite actually packed there as well during the day, I think. But no, it was nice. It was a nice day. That man was William Berman. The statement was mostly true. Obviously, that is a matter of opinion, by the way. So, that statement was mostly true. The reason for the interview: Berman thinks he can do a better job, obviously. And after 20 minutes chatting to him, I think he may just pull it off. That's quite nice to hear. I like support from anyone that gives me support for it is nice. His game is called The End of an Age, and actually the first one is called Fading Remnants as well. And it's an old school RPG in the vein of many early 90s classics such as Phantasy Star 3 and Final Fantasy 4 and 5 and 6, I guess, to a certain extent. Due to limited budget, it is currently being developed with RPG Maker VX Ace, which is of course a very good program, and obviously lots of you will know the tutorials and videos I've done on that, and I do recommend it for stuff like this. It is quite versatile as well, which is great. But Will is quite open that he would love to make it in 3D. yeah, that's probably not going to happen. I guess that would only be if a developer was to like it and approach me, which is obviously in Fantasyland. But still, yeah. Well, it's still in early development. I got to play a small section a few months back, and I'm pleased to report that everything is felt very slick, bar a few placeholder images. Yeah, stuff was, I don't know. Every time I do work on it, basically the demo does change because I changed some key stuff in the actual game. So there was a point where when I first brought out the demo, I was bringing out a demo every sort of like 3 hours. So yeah, such as the changes that were made. We were good ratio of story to combat. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure that's a fair comment really, because the opening is pretty much just story. The combat was, literally just there to give a flavour of it. I probably really could have done the whole thing with very few battles, but nevertheless. I did, however, find that difficulty levels happened to be a little erratic. They're meant to be amazingly easy, apart from one battle, pretty much. Well, apart from 2 battles. So, yes. That could be just due to my cat-handedness when it comes to any turn-based combat that isn't Pokemon. Fortunately, given how early on the development is, I wouldn't worry about it too much. No, of course, it all changes, and I've got so much work, honestly, to do in the game in terms of like leveling and stuff. So I don't even want to think about that now. I'm really gonna wait until later on, because that's just values that I can change, and I'm not going to get into it now. I'm more bothered about getting the story down. We'll also explain that there'll be some battles you're supposed to lose for plot purposes. There's one battle in the demo you're meant to lose. I've tried to make it so you could lose. I guess you could technically win it, but you'd have to grind for a couple of hours to win the battle. So, it's possible, but hopefully no one would do that. And plus, it doesn't actually change anything, really, because actually by losing the battle, you get your character buffed up slightly. And I don't know, it's just, yeah, it's a very minor story purposes, but it was more to, I don't know, showing the demo that my game has other aspects to it as well. If you grew up in the 90s, then odds are this style of RPG holds fond memories for you. Fond memories, obviously. Yes, of course. Some of the first ever games I played were of this ilk, so that's great. To look at the end of an age, referred to as TEOAA from here on in, which is obviously the abbreviation. I use that abbreviation, so it's fine. You class it as a Japanese RPG and find its Kickstarter page, which is obviously now finished, or Steam Greenlight page. You think it was an indie game. Did I go through yes, words I dislike, of course. If you want to know why I dislike indie, or the word indie, then please do go and watch the words I dislike page. But you'll also find such other things as YOLO and banter. But never mind. Where was I? In many ways you'd be right, but it's neither a JRPG nor an indie game. I don't know, it is sort of a JRPG, but yeah. Anyway, he rejects the term indie for its modern connotations of iPad games and short time wasters, stating, "There is nothing indie about it." That's true. You're not going to spend 60 hours playing the game on the toilet. That's because that's what I class as indie telephone games for. I mean, if you got something like, what's a popular game? I can't remember. I've never played it, but I've seen someone play Candy Crush Saga or whatever it is. And I'm sure that game only lasts a couple of minutes, which is fine if you're on the toilet. So yeah. As for the phrase JRPG, what makes it clear that he considers End of an Age to be a straight up good old RPG experience. Yeah, I don't know. I don't like it being put into Western RPGs or Japanese RPGs. It just really has a genre as of an RPG, which is what I've gone for. Speaking to all about the game brings out a passion in the mild-mannered young 21-year-old. And talking of his influences, which include Philip Pullman's Dark Materials trilogy, which is of course a book, and does include the Northern Lights, A Subtle Knife, and The Amber Spyglass. And I don't really read that many books, I'm going to be honest, but I love those books, and yeah, definitely something worth checking out if you're a fantasy fan, as I presume you are if you watch my videos and like RPGs. So, and of course, Final Fantasy series. Also, The Last Remnant, of course, which is a PC game, which is one of the few things that I actually believe Square Enix have made correctly, but never mind. And a plethora of other quality Eastern-style RPGs. It's easy to see how he's been able to plan a rich tapestry of plot, which will reportedly reach up to 60 hours of gameplay. That will probably include some side quests as well, but yeah. And potentially 2 sequels. Yep. What's not so easy to get your head around is why exactly he is performing such an ambitious and massive undertaking currently on his own. That is difficult. And it's not until a good 15 minutes into our interview that I really grasp the reasons why. Fair enough. Will isn't making this out of some misguided arrogance. No, because I absolutely am appalling on RPG Maker, and every time I go to do something new, I always make a mistake, and I have to go back and rectify everything. But that's part of the learning process. So, nor is it born of a desire to make a quick buck. Yep, true. Will is making the end of an age simply because he feels as though he has to. That is a very good statement there, and that pretty much sums up. That sentence pretty much sums everything up, really. He's a man that feels as though the genre line has been broken down too far, and that a shiny whiz-banging graphics are the focus of gaming developers. Hence Final Fantasy 13. Citing Skyrim as more of an action RPG, which it is. That's not saying that Skyrim is a bad game. Skyrim is an amazing game, and so is Oblivion. But they're the poster boys of RPGs, and that's unfair, I believe. In stating that as far as he's concerned, Final Fantasy ended at 10. Yes, 11 was online. 12 was slightly questionable story and the wrong battle system and the wrong use of summons. I could go on. And obviously 13 was 13. And 14 was a complete and utter disaster, obviously, as you know, but online again, so it doesn't really count for me. It's only going to move further away, of course, with 13.3. Spoiler there, by the way. If you're thinking of getting it, it's going to be rubbish. So, yeah. For this is an intensely personal project, that's true. It's about one last send-off for the type of RPG he and many of us grew up on. Yes, hopefully. Hopefully 3 last send-offs if I get to make the 2 sequels as well. It's about closure, and upon the realisation of that, it all slips into place. Yeah, okay. I think that does sort of. That doesn't really make sense, but I get what he's saying. Yeah, it is true. The closure aspect, I didn't really think about it myself, but that is true. I was really hoping for a rebirth with it, but no, it is definitely closure. That's for sure. One of the biggest criticisms was that the game was going to be a paid-for product, which it will be, by the way. But there are reasons for that, obviously. But we'll justify this by stating that all the money earned will go into funding the next in the trilogy. Yep. Second one, any money from the first gets ploughed into the second one for art and resources and stuff. And hopefully, I mean, if I make money, then I can make the game better each time, which is the hope. And it's not going to be expensive either. I said under £5 for the game, so I'm pretty much sticking to that. And of course, various people will, or there's a certain amount of people that will get discounts anyway. People who back me on Kickstarter, for example. So, I asked Will if he's upset that his Kickstarter page received little funding. He replied that it was more about raising awareness than anything else. Obviously, funding would have been amazing, but didn't happen. Kickstarter and Steam Greenlight are inundated with people looking to make it big, with lofty dreams and hopeless goals. Like me. But Will comes across as a man with his feet firmly on the ground. Yes, what he wants to do is ambitious. However, for all that ambition, he is taking a practical approach to his game, and that is to be respected. Even his Kickstarter spelled wrong, just so you know, Ben. Funding goal was around most £880. Yes, it's true. It could have been less than that, really. I guess, but like with the fees, and then the fees from Kickstarter, and with the for some of the what they called rewards they wanted to do, I had to bump it up a little bit. So that's the reason. Although coincidentally, there was a game very much, well, not very much like mine, but of the same sort of ilk, and they wanted like $20,000, and he raised something like 3, I think, which is obviously would have been more than enough to fund my my project, which is a shame, but never mind. Well, there's of course plenty of work left to go for Will. Yes, it's a huge amount of work. I could do it someone else working on it with me, but yeah. A potential release date for the product is about a year from now at the earliest. Yeah. I think I'll be lucky if I release it in 2014. But never mind. This would certainly be one to watch, and like the old Interplay logo said, this digitalized love letter to old school RPGs is by gamers for gamers. Yes, because I'm an RPG gamer making an RPG. There's nothing really more poetic than that, is there? I would say, unless you're writing a sonnet to a loved one, then never mind. It was put up today or yesterday because it's just gone over midnight while I'm recording this. And yes, that's pretty much it, really. And it's definitely worth checking out. I haven't looked through this whole website, looked through the website as a whole as of yet, but it's so I've read some of the other reviews as well, and some of it's quite good. I wonder if he's actually on here. Oh, there he is. Right. Okay. Fair enough. I gathered that they were all meant to be embarrassing pictures of the crew. So, yeah. Anyway, yes. So that was the review, and please do go and check out their review site. As I say, there was some very interesting stuff on there, and as far as I can tell, apart from the few mistakes and some obviously wording errors, it is a review that I will say represents our interview very well. So very well done, Ben. I actually enjoyed reading that for the third time, this time out live, of course, with reaction. So there you go. And if you managed to sit through this all this way, then you might as well go and check out more stuff on their website. So yeah, I think that's everything. As always, guys, if you do have any comments or anything to say, please do leave them down below. If you have any comments on The End of an Age specifically, you can message me through YouTube, Steam, Facebook, Twitter, or down below, and I will answer you. At the minute, I'm obviously, I think I have 112 subscribers now, which is amazing. By the way, I should say, despite the fact I don't judge success on subscribers, it is really nice to see that count keep going up, which I love. And yeah, so I do get back to pretty much almost everyone, actually. I think about 99% of all comments that require an answer have been answered, so that pretty much sums up the chances of you getting your question answered, I would have thought. So anyway, I've dragged this video on for too long now. I'm not even sure how long it's going to be. It must be like 20 minutes. That's great. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching. I'm going to be doing some more recording now, so you'll be seeing some more stuff go up. And soon, very soon, when it is released, I'm going to be playing Magic 2014 as well, which I'm really looking forward to. It's a card game for grown-ups. So yes, that will be fun. But anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time. Goodbye, guys.